Welcome back, class 10. Continuing with your physical education class, health education. Today, we will start off our class by discussing the concept of malnutrition. Malnutrition is when a person's diet has an imbalance of the essential nutrients that the body needs to remain healthy. So when whatever necessary nutrients which are necessary for a person to remain healthy, if those necessary nutrients are missing from a person's food or diet, is known as malnutrition. Insufficient balanced diet results in malnutrition. Malnutrition is when body does not get enough nutrients. When the body does not get enough nutritious food which are necessary for a body, is known as malnutrition. The imbalance in nutrients can weaken a person's immune system and body, and makes the body susceptible to illness. That means if a person is having a diet which is malnutritioned, that means which lacks essential nutrients, chances are that the person will fall sick more often than a healthy person. Chances are that the immunity system will be jeopardized, and we are talking about a lot of immune system nowadays during this pandemic, because and lots of fad diets are there which claims that it will enhance the immunity, but whatever it is, we are becoming more aware of immunity system. So the thing is, if you have a nutritious diet and if you exercise properly, chances are that your immunity system will be strong. So if a person is malnutritioned, that means if a person lacks the nutrition necessary for a healthy diet, chances are that person will have a weak immune system. Malnutrition is often divided into two different types, which are undernutrition and overnutrition. See, undernutrition is also malnutrition and overnutrition is also malnutrition. Malnutrition can result in, number one, delay in child's physical and mental development. If you can see that a child is not developing mentally, if a child is not developing physically, chances are that the child is malnutrition. The child is more susceptible to infection. That means he catches cold, the child is having fever, he might have some rashes, some type of infection. Easily the child is getting infected. So you can understand that his immunity is low. Since the immunity is low or weak, then we can understand that the child is malnutritioned. Slower recovery. If after an illness or after an injury, if the recovery rate in a child is slow, then chances are that the child is malnutrition. Causes of malnutrition. Number one, an inadequate or unbalanced diet. If the diet is inadequate or if the diet is unbalanced, chances are that there will be malnutrition. Digestion problem or other medical conditions, and starvation. If there are some other medical conditions, if there are some digestive problems, or if there is starvation, that there is malnutrition. Natural disaster. The natural disaster like earthquake, flood, drought, if there are certain natural disasters where food is not available, basic food is not available, how can we think about nutrition? Scarcity of suitable food. Scarcity means there is lack. If there is a lack of suitable food in a certain place or a certain area, due to whatever reasons, chances are that there will be malnutrition. Lack of purchasing power of the family. If the purchasing power of the family is low, chances are that there will be causes of malnutrition. Traditional beliefs and taboos about what one should eat. Now this is a very interesting thing. There are some traditional beliefs and the taboos. Taboos means which are not allowed to do. There are certain types of foods are not allowed to be eaten by certain group of people, but that food is very nutritious. Then chances are there are malnutrition. Some classifications of malnutrition are undernutrition, obesity, and micronutrient deficiency. Kwashiorkor is a type of malnutrition that occurs where there is a lack of protein in the diet. When there is a lack of protein in the diet, there is a type of disease known as Kwashiorkor. That means Kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor is a malnutrition disease caused by malnutrition due to lack of protein in the diet. Goiter, scurvy, anemia. Goiter is caused due to lack of iodine. Scurvy is caused due to the lack of vitamin C. And anemia is caused due to lack of iron in the food. Marasmus is characterized by energy deficiency in the body and the body lacking nearly all the nutrients. So that is marasmus. Now, the malnutrition. Now, what is undernutrition? Now, undernutrition is a form of malnutrition. That is a condition resulting from not consuming enough nutrients. When a person does not consume enough nutrients, then that is undernutrition. Undernutrition is when the body cannot maintain natural bodily capacities anymore. Undernutrition is lack of adequate energy, protein, and micronutrients to meet basic requirements of body maintenance, growth, and development. People affected by undernutrition usually suffer from hunger. So it is a sign, or it is a way you can understand that a person is suffering from undernutrition because a person is hungry. It occurs often in the third world countries. Some capacities that cannot be performed during undernutrition are growth, resisting and recovering from diseases, learning and physical work, and pregnancy in women. So if a person is undernutritioned, that means the person's growth will be hampered, resisting from diseases will be difficult, recovering from diseases will be slow, learning and physical work will be hampered, women getting pregnant will be very difficult because that person is undernutritioned. Undernutrition can occur despite overeating. This is a very important concept. A person can eat. He can eat as much as possible. He overeats perhaps. But that person is undernutrition. Why? This is because proper nutrition requires a balance of all nutrients not present in all foods. If a person thrives on junk food, if a person eats junk food, he leads a very unhealthy lifestyle, obviously chances are that the person will be undernutritioned. The symptoms associated with undernutrition vary. That means the difference by deficiency. Lack of vitamin A in the diet results in night blindness. A deficiency in iron can make an individual anemic, which can result in fatigue, increased risk of infection, and increased risk of hemorrhaging during childbirth. Iodine is important for proper functioning of the thyroid gland, which is responsible for producing hormones that manage the body's metabolic rate. A lack of iodine can cause stunted growth, not proper growth, mental delays, and creating of goiter. Goiter is a growth over here, right? It's a goiter. It's a lack of iodine. That is why we have now the system of iodized salts. Now comes overnutrition. Overnutrition is when there are too many nutrients in relation to the amounts that are required for normal growth, development, and metabolism. Overnutrition means that the body is having or consuming nutrition which is more than the desired rate or the normal capacity. In other words, overnutrition is an excessive intake of food, especially unbalanced proportions. One can be both overnourished and malnourished. One may be eating too much food, yet develop a deficiency of certain nutrients if one fails to consume the proper variety of food. Nutrients can be harmful in excess, and danger of overnutrition relates mostly to carbohydrates and fats. Obviously, when we consume more food, generally we consume more carbohydrates and fats, which is extremely harmful for the body. One should not get confused between overnutrition and overeating. Very, very important. Overeating is something else. Overnutrition is something else. Overeating is a condition which is considered as a psychological disorder. It is a psychological disorder, and that means it is mental. You are feeling lonely, let me eat. I'm feeling what to do, there's nothing to do, let me eat. It's a psychological disorder. Overnutrition is choosing to eat more food than one needs. That is overnutrition. Obesity is a type of overnutrition. Overnutrition can develop into obesity, which increases the risk of serious health conditions, including cardiovascular disease, hypertension, cancer, and type 2 diabetes. High caloric meals, such as fast food and processed food, excessive amounts of vitamin A administered to children from early infancy can result in itchy skin, that means where you itch always, hyper irritability, extreme irritability, painful swelling of extremities accompanied by limping, refusal to stand, thickening of long bones, and occasional enlargement of spleens. These are results of overnutrition. Among adults, it causes lethargy, that means tiredness, fatigue, general weakness, insomnia. Insomnia means lack of sleep during night, constipation, bone and joint pain. Excessive amounts of vitamin D can result in nausea. Nausea means I feel like vomiting, fatigue, drowsiness, headache and constipation. Occasional bouts of fever. Hypertension means high blood pressure, renal disorder, calcium deposition on blood vessels, increased serum calcium and phosphorus, higher concentration of calcium in spine, facial paralysis, that is known as facial palsy, and anemia. Over intake of iron leads to large deposits of iron in the liver. This causes constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, nausea, dizziness, and vomiting. So, eating extremely in a high quantity and overeating is also not desirable. So, we have understood a lot of things regarding food and diet and health education. So, with this, we come to the end of chapter 9, which is health education. So, go through the chapter and go through the classes which I have taken, and all the doubts of your regarding this chapter will be clear. Thank you very much.